What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with two very special guests. I've got Kenny Ken and I have Zah, two Arsenal fans. To be honest with you, I wanted it to be Zah and Kenny, but Zah did point out something that this is the first time that the two of them are meeting. So, obviously, it's only right that I am here for the first one. But going forward, it will be Arsenal fans talking Arsenal fans, like I did promise. So, apologies, you had to see Guni's face one more time. But before we do get into the content, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts down there in the comments as well. It's always nice to hear what you lot are thinking and where you think Arsenal could improve. I'm speaking directly to you, Arsenal fans. There is no banter intended. Serious answers. You get me? But lads, emphatic 3-1 victory against Aston Villa, a game that I predicted to be 2-2. So you actually exceeded Guni's expectations. And perhaps maybe were both of your expectations exceeded by the result?
Exceeded my expectations for sure.
I'll let whoever wants to start go ahead.
Zah, you first, man.
All right, so 3-1. I mean, we played pretty well. Smith Rowe, Aubameyang, and Partey off the corner. It was pretty good. I mean, kind of sad. Well, not really sad, but would have liked to keep that clean sheet. But that goal that they scored, I think it's that young lad. What's his name? Ramsey. The goal that Ramsey scored.
Yeah, Ramsey. Yeah.
Nothing really you can do about that. But yeah, no, I mean, so we got the 3 points. We played decent. Nuno Tavares, I was very impressed by Nuno Tavares. He was the one that when they announced the team and all, I was a little bit worried about how he would do. I actually gave him my man of the match. Ahead of Smith Rowe played well. Who else played well? Aubameyang did well. Lacazette was pressing, was impressive. The center backs at the back. Ben White had an incredible game too, and also. But I mean, all around, decent performance from the lads. We're chatting just a bit before we got going. It's a surprise that with 3 points. 3 points off top four, but hey, do we really deserve to be 3 points off top four? I don't think so, but it's a results-driven game, and I'll take it. So far, I mean, can't really complain about the last game. It's just now we just need to be more. That's our problem. Our problem this year is, well, our problem just generally is just we are not consistent. We blow hot and cold. We play decent, then we're back to fucking same old Arsenal. Then back up, it's up and down, and so hopefully we can go on a run of games, collect some points, and keep it moving.
See, I agree with you, Sark, because I thought, people talk about, Spurs being our best performance of the season, but I think there was like a combination of things where, we played beautifully for the first 35 minutes when we took the game away from Spurs, and then we started took our foot on the gas, and Spurs kind of came back into it. Plus, Spurs were devoid of a lot of confidence. But I think with Aston Villa as well is that we were very ruthless, because I think with Crystal Palace, they've got a very strong, powerful base in midfield where they have athletes in there. And then when I saw Villa had Buendia, Douglas, Douglas, and they also had they also had McGinn as well. That's a very creative kind of passing, creative midfield, trying to create chances for Ings and Watkins as well for all their runners. And I think what's happened is that we overpowered them. We took advantage of that. We used our athletes. We pressed them out of the game and, seized control of the football match. I think that on Friday was our best performance this season, because I think we managed to sustain that tempo for about 78 minutes. I think the tempo kind of went down a bit when he started making substitutions. Like, he brings Odegaard on, he kind of slowed the game down. Maitland-Niles, when he came on, was, struggled a bit with the pace of the game. Martinelli, the game was already kind of won when he came on. But all in all, definitely our best game of the season. But as you say, Zah, the problem with Mikel Arteta, and why a lot of fans I'm not buying into this, and I don't think you're buying into Mikel Arteta as well, is because consistency just isn't his best side. Because last season, obviously, I was watching a lot of your shows last year with Troops, and you had the Troops was in England by the time, when we beat Man United, we was going, take your time with it, all that. And then after take your time with it, we go and get battered by Villa. We get battered by Wolves, and we're on that kind of losing streak. And then when we thought Arteta was going to go in last season, we beat Chelsea, had a few good results, and then we struggled again against West Ham, where you got points. They were struggling at Villa and Wolves, Everton. Then Villarreal came, and it's the same here. We had a great result against Tottenham, and then we've had the two all right, we didn't lose, but we might as well have lost because they're both shocking performances. And I think that's the thing with Arteta: 2 steps forward, 5 back, and it's just not really on because if we showed a bit more consistent play, better football. I think that you will be challenged for the top 4. I know it's not good enough because we should be winning the league. We should be challenging the league, but it's a start. But Arteta's the architect of his downfall. His team selections, his tempo of his play, and I just think that there is the only process I seem to see is, let's face it, he hasn't got a style of play. His team selections leave a lot to be desired, especially, and our attack consistently has gone backwards since he's been in charge. He's a negative manager. He isn't the manager that everyone thought he'd be because he worked with Pep. Let's not forget, Arteta worked with Pep, David Moyes, and obviously Arsene Wenger. Unfortunately, Arteta's best football was under David Moyes, a very negative manager at Everton and a very negative manager for the first 7 months at Man United. Hence the fact he got fired. That is rubbish we're seeing now under Arteta. I can guarantee you now, Leicester is going to be a massive test because they have power in midfield, unlike which we're going to have to match. When we start beating teams like Leicester and real live teams, then maybe we'll think we'll turn a corner.
That's when we're kind of back. Yeah, no, I completely agree with what you said right there. What do you think of his management of Gabriel Martinelli? How do you
see that's the thing. It's funny to say it because I think with Martinelli,
because he was out of the young kids, he was the one that was. If we go back like last season, Martinelli was the one that was ahead of everyone, pretty much out of the young.
He was. I think what's happening is that he put himself in the shot window in terms of like Arsenal fans. Obviously, in pre-season you saw the goal against in pre-season where he scored that full length goal in America, and then the Chelsea game where bit of luck, couple of Conte falls over, but he goes down. He gets fans are on his side. But I think with Arteta, it seems like if Aubameyang doesn't start, then maybe Martinelli play. But I think he likes to play Martinelli as a left forward. So it's hard. He doesn't seem to find a place for him because he seems to have shoehorned him in a position that he can only play one position. He can't. Everyone thinks he's a centre forward. He clearly isn't that. But it's like he's found a place for Smith Rowe. He's found a place for Saka. But players like Pepe at the moment and Martinelli are suffering under this manager. That they're going backwards, but it's much worse than them going backwards. They're struggling to get the side because again, he comes on against Crystal Palace, and I joked that we brought him on to play like Jason Wilcox. when let's face it, we're trying to kind of get back in the game. We want him to go through down the middle. Yet because he's got Aubameyang on the pitch, he's got all these attacking players. He's now saying, forward, we don't want you to play forward. We want you to play winger. Come on, that's just nonsense. It's a nonsense. Yeah. You bring a player on, you don't know. You just basically saying, no, just play rush goalie kind of rubbish. That's how it looks with Martinelli. Martinelli.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, all I'm trying to say, with Martinelli, I just think, only under another manager we're going to see the best of him. Not under this manager. It's not. I don't think this manager fancies him.
Actually, that's actually where I was about to. That's actually where I was about to hit. I was going to say that I sense a freezing out situation coming, kind of like how Guendouzi was kind of pushed out, and even Saliba too, and all that. And I'm really scared. I really like Martinelli a lot, and I hope that does not happen whatsoever. But I mean, I just don't get how I just don't get why he's not getting more game time. It's not like the guys that are ahead of him, the guys that he's putting ahead of him are playing well. Like, for example, Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka has played pretty much every game. He played in the Euros and all that, and he's looking spent. Why not sit him a little bit, give Martinelli some opportunities to go and all that? But so Arteta's selection, I don't know what goes through his head. But I did
He's a
like
talent
what I
killer.
did like though from the last game is the inclusion of Lacazette. I think that worked. That worked very, very well. Then.
You see,
Hopefully
that's
we
the
see
thing,
more of that.
Sar, right? That's the thing, Sar, right? Everyone's talking about Aubameyang struggling. Obviously, Brother Troops is saying, but he's saying, like he's a massive fan of Aubameyang Lacazette.
Yeah.
But everyone knows, right? Aubameyang can't play with his back to goal. He can't hold the ball up. But what Aubameyang thrives on is space. Now, under Unai Emery, and Aubameyang's best football was alongside Lacazette, because Lacazette, basically takes defenders out of positions, out of the basically what we call like
he attracts
the back four,
defenders.
and he says, right, I'm going there. You've got to mark me because I'm going to create. You've got no choice but to mark me. So defenders follow him either into number 10 in the midfield. And what happens is Aubameyang goes in that space that is left in the centre, but he cuts in from the left. And I think against Aston Villa, that's where they're playing the best. When Lacazette plays well, Aubameyang's on fire. He's on fire, man. Because Aubameyang thrives on space, and preferably he plays his best football as well when you've got the front three of Pepe in there as well. Because again, Pepe is one of those players who just alternates between the spaces. I think when he plays alongside sometimes Smith Rowe and Saka, where he's meant to be like the number 9, that's where I think we're asking him to do jobs that just not in his arsenal, pardon the pun. And I think that's where I do get frustrated with Arteta. Either play Aubameyang in his best position or sell the guy and let's just try and play another way, because you've got a front three worth about nearly £200 million and you can't get the best out of them.
True. That is very true. What do you would you give him a new contract? Laka, that is.
It's a very difficult one
because there you go. Who are we going to replace him with if you don't?
Well, the problem is there's a conundrum, isn't there? The biggest conundrum is that he's promoted Balogun into the team, and basically he's meant to be the player that's going to come to his first team, and he was meant to get a run of games this season. We lose against Brentford in a high-profile game, all bets are off.
Poor man management. One
of the worst poor man. But he's not Balogun who's done it. He's done it to a lot of players. And the next minute, he's further down the line. Eddie Nketiah has been, he's basically been, clubs are coming for him. Oh, the money's not enough. Oh, let's try and give Eddie Nketiah a new contract. Well, all right, fine. Well, how comes he's further down the line? You can't have players in the team. Try and persuade them to play and see if you can give, tell them that there's a pathway to the first team, and then when we get a few bad results, you're not using them. That's his man management is shocking, especially of young players. We don't know what goes beyond the scene, but what we've seen, Saliba doesn't work out. We've seen Martinelli, not getting games. We've seen Balogun further down the pecking order. We've seen Eddie Nketiah. Who's next? Saka's gone backwards. What's going to happen? Are we going to see Smith Rowe go, reach a level of performance where he's going to be playing well now, and then he goes backwards, and this manager can't get him back to his best? This manager's a talent killer, especially young players.
Yeah, lads, I wanted to actually ask you a question. In fact, one of you brought it up in the beginning of this interview that top 4 is actually only 3 points away from you guys. Now, I know, listen, I'm not saying you're getting ahead of yourselves or anything like that. I'm just saying it's still very early in the season. Same with my Chelsea talk and winning the league. Same rule applies. But I'm just looking at the teams that are ahead of you currently, who would be fighting for that top 4 position. And the way Manchester United look, I don't think if they continue any longer with Solskjaer, they're not going to finish anywhere near the top 4. That's in my opinion. I don't think they'll finish in the top 4. Tottenham, I see them falling further away. Brighton, same there. West Ham, I can see them putting up a fight. And Leicester, and Leicester City. Now, in my opinion, I think the only other 2 teams that you should really be looking at and thinking, right, those are serious contenders, given the forms that they're good, that they're in, West Ham and Leicester City. But do the both of you feel that you could pip those two for that extra fourth position if United did underperform, as I said they would?
Do you want the answer from my heart or the answer from my head?
Well, your choice, whichever.
My heart says yes, we can do it. My head after seeing Arteta these past what's it been, like 2 years or however long it's been, after seeing him, honestly, we're still way too far out. There's way too many. We got way too many games ahead of us. I think we probably got like 19 games left. That is a lot of games.
29 games left.
Oh, sorry, 29. Sorry, not 19.
Yeah,
bad math right there. 29 games left. That's a lot of games. And again, we go back to that question, that thing that we spoke about a little bit earlier about the consistency that we haven't seen. So, having not seen any consistency, why there's nothing really for me to be optimistic about in terms of top four until he proves himself, until he goes on like maybe like let's say like an 8 or 10 run game where we don't lose type of deal. Then maybe I'll start thinking, all right, top four. But as of now, Europa is the one that I'm looking at, and even that's tough, man, because these teams ahead of us, teams that we're competing with, it ain't easy. The Leicester's, the West Ham, and all that, and even Brighton too. Brighton's done well this year, so I'm not too optimistic.
Kenny,
I don't see it happening because simple reason is that we've over the last few years we've to our peril we've written off Man United. Like everyone, university people in football always say, well, Solskjaer's not as good as Klopp, Tuchel, and Guardiola, and he should be in a job because he's like a safe manager. But the thing is that you look at the Man United team, and regardless of what you think of what happened, we saw today, which we're shocked and we're not shocked. They still got Varane, they still got Ronaldo, they still got Cavani, they still got Falange, they still got players, like Greenwood. They've got Rashford. That's an embarrassment of riches.
The talent's there.
The talent's there. And if he changes the style of play, or say Man United say, you know what, we got games against Tottenham, then we got Chelsea, then we got Man City, and we think, you know what, the way I can't risk this manager when we play in these set of games, and we get someone else in, with a big personality, he'll get Man United, get the players' chests out, and then they work it nuts off. Because someone like Conte, the first thing because it's Conte, and he's got you into a kind of whip you into, a bit of frenzy. Full well that players, he's going to insist on players press teams out of the game.
Yep.
And what will happen is that they might go on a run of games now, or even with Solskjaer, that shocking defeat went, right, never again. They're going to have a team meeting. They'll be difficult to beat. And then you've got Leicester, who had a good season. And West Ham are playing really well. And I don't think Arsenal at the moment, as a team, are as settled as those three, as Leicester and West Ham, and don't have the players that Man United got. So I have to say no. And it's this manager as well. This manager really, really, really is learning the job at our expense. It's like he's doing like a university course, a law degree. And instead of being the first finished article, we're waiting for him to hand in his coursework where we're trying to, get the top four or win the league. That's not good. A club like Arsenal shouldn't be having a manager who's had no experience in learning the job. This is Arsenal.
It's a recipe for disaster too, Kenny, because it's I mean, we have a combination of an inexperienced manager, his first gig ever, and also our squad is inexperienced. And then Wenger, I forgot when Wenger said it. It's like, for young lads to gain experience, you pay for that in points. And it's crazy how, and I'm actually worried about the whole experience, the whole experience situation.
Our set of games as well. We've got Leicester next, and then after Leicester we've got Watford. All right, Watford smashed everything to pieces. But you got a team like that think, you know what, we're playing for a new manager, we're playing for our places, and then after Watford you got what's that? You got the what's the name? the international break, Liverpool, they're going to thrash us.
Liverpool, Newcastle.
They're going to thrash us. Even if we play to the best of our ability, they're going to murder us because they've got too many good players and they've got a settled side. And then after that, you've got Newcastle. Yeah, before we know, Newcastle might get a new manager in. Again, so they get a new manager in, we're going to be playing, rejuvenated side. So again, it's a big struggle.
I know it's tough, and yeah, that inexperience. I mean, I think is playing a lot into our inconsistency. So it's. Oh, I don't know.
All right. So let's say top four is out the window. Is it Europa League or Arteta has to get sacked?
I mean, if you ask me now, I've been patient with him. I gave him all of last season. I got a lot of abuse for being on his side all of last season, and he let me down and all. I personally, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if we switched it out right now. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, Europa. If he doesn't make Europa this year, we got to get back into Europe. If he doesn't get into Europe this year, unfortunately for me, he's got to go. He has got to
go. You know what I think? Zah and Troops ain't gonna like this when I tell them. But the thing is that Arsenal traditionally give managers loads of time.
Yeah. So why didn't we do that with them?
Results, managers always need time. The only two managers the last 30 years the last 40 years have never had time are Unai Emery and Bruce Rioch. Unai Emery, as far as Arsenal fans are concerned, especially Wenger lovers, he was responsible for the last 10 years of Arsene Wenger, and he's also responsible for the last 22 months after Arteta. So it's quite extraordinary that one man who's only here for 18 months is responsible for everything that's gone wrong at Arsenal. That means Wenger's exempt from the blame, and Arteta, trust the process. Mikel is exempt as well. So I think the only way Mikel Arteta loses his job is through the fans. If the fans decide and say, "Look, it's enough," either by staying away or voicing their dissatisfaction at the Emirates, not just away from home, then he'll go. But the trouble is with a lot of fans is that I call it right. If you've got a political party, you've got one wing and another wing. And right now you've got fans like me and you, Zah and Troops, who are Arteta out and do not trust the process. And you've got the other wing of the Arsenal support, which is everyone gets along, we're all level-headed Gooners. We don't rank, we don't swear, we use our brains and we talk so calmly, and we see if we can go and get an FCA award, a YouTube award, and get a little badge and all that garbage, nonsense, rubbish. And, we're positive fans. And basically, those kind of fans, I say it with great respect, are enablers. They're an absolute enablers. Let's give him to the end of the season. He messes up, then he gets a job. Oh, we give him to the end of the season. How far away from the top four, and I'm just talking about the minimum top four or challenging, do we have to endure under this manager? Because at the end of the day, it's clear to God that, Arsenal Football Club are not going to make a change unless Arteta's committed a misdemeanor that has an effect on the club's brand, or fans fight with their feet. Because too many Arsenal fans will come up with absolute rubbish and say, "Oh, you Arsenal fans are so spoiled. You're so entitled. I mean, we won the Invincibles. Invincibles. Yeah, let's go celebrate that for 17 years, like we've been doing, like we did in '71. We will celebrate that for 18 years before we won in 1989. That's what Arsenal fans do. They like the History Channel. They say, "Oh, in my day, we didn't win anything from 1953 to 1970. So bloody what? So what if you didn't win anything? I want to win things now.
Yeah,
we've got high standards at Arsenal. If you carry on the way we're doing, where we're going to start looking back and start watching all videos and start singing, songs about players and no longer there, and start saying Papa Wenger because it's his birthday and all that, or crying because we didn't wish Mesut Ozil happy birthday, then what you're going to get is what we got now. I'm not satisfied with that crap, but some Arsenal fans seem to be. So when you get all your awards and get your little pictures and, get your nice little round table and sitting down, enjoy. But I'm not, enjoy your awards, but I'm not going to enjoy this rubbish that I'm watching. Not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that Ozil stuff was crazy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That is the problem we've got with a lot of Arsenal fans right there. Is that the people who've got the greatest influences are fans who want to be seen as level-headed, who say trust the process, who say you can't blame the manager, who make excuses. Oh, these guys have got so much money to spend and blah blah. Look what happened in Man United when they got experienced managers. Look what happened when we got experienced managers. It didn't work out. So let's just keep him a novice. So because it didn't work out in Emery, we're not allowed to get an experienced manager. These people have to be muzzled. Because as long as we have them being the voice of the fans, we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, no, we're the most split fan base on the planet, and that's playing directly into the owners' hands. That's what the Cronkies want. They want the fan base to be split. And I mean, another thing is, all right, we keep going with this guy, and he keeps messing up. People are acting like we live in isolation. We live in the static world. You look around us, there's other projects that are kicking off. I mean, Man City is only getting better and better by the day. Liverpool is getting better and better by the day. We got a new player in Newcastle now with the financial resources. They're going to get a new training ground, a new stadium. The stadium's going to be fixed and all that. They're going to be a new player very soon. So it's like, all right, we kill so much time. We waste time with this guy, yet other projects are moving. We're not going to get anywhere like that, which is why I'm like, he needs to. I mean, I want him out, but if he has to start delivering now, because honestly, it's been 2 years wasted, 2 years or however long it's been. However long it's been with Arteta, we're wasting time. We're wasting time.
So he's got a get out clause, isn't he, Zardo?
Sorry.
So he's got a get out clause, isn't it? Because what's happening, right? It's like the majority of the fans who are behind this manager. The first thing they say, everyone Smith Rowe and Saka reach their potential. We need to give him time, which means we've got to give him time. And then what will happen? What will happen right now is that some of them will make it up as they go along. We win one game against Spurs, and they'll tell you to your face, and they won't even blink when they're coming out with a crap. Oh yeah, by the way, Arteta's, we're playing through the lines under Arteta. We've got this like new little pivot, and that he's got this Arteta style, which is like the midfielder condensed and blah blah. And then when we lose, they go into hiding. They don't come out with this, like this new inventive style. It's just, and then when we win, the Arteta haters must be gutted that we win. How can we be gutted that Arsenal win when we're all Arsenal fans?
Right? Yeah.
What are they on? It's like what's wrong with these people? They love it. They love the mediocrity. They love it because you know why they love it? It's because they've seen Arsenal win trophies, and they're all right. All right, Jack. They're the ones who are at Anfield 89. They're the ones who saw the venue is. That's it. They're satisfied. So we all got to be satisfied. Why?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. I don't know how far we're gonna get thingy. But let me ask you this: what do you think of the new signings? Are you happy with the signings we made this year? The Ramsdale,
I must say, I was always for Ben White because simple reason I liked what he did at Brighton and what he was doing at Leeds, and I think he's a modern defender. I know a lot of Arsenal fans. I respect their opinions on it, and they're right. They want someone who wants to sort of like get on the shoulder of the defender, breathe down into that, win headers, put tackles in. And I get that. But his performances and what we bring inside now, he reads the game really well. He doesn't have to make tackles. He's a great disputer of the ball. The biggest find this season is Zah and Ramsdale. The reason why I liked him, not because I thought he was a good goalkeeper, because I thought he was hungry. And he just, I shake his hand because, he's grabbed the number one place. It doesn't look like he's ready to let it go. So I'm happy with that. Tavares as well. You like Tavares as well. Tavares, You know,
Yeah, I mean, based off that, he hasn't played much.
no.
Based off that one
Tierney's
game,
been playing poorly.
played well.
So Tavares, you can easily say, right, Tierney, we're going to give you a rest. You play Tavares, and you wouldn't feel anyway. So you've got to be happy with that. And Lokonga, he needs games. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I don't know what I think about him. Honestly, I don't know.
He just needs games, so this games he needs games. But at the moment, the problem you got right is that we could have done with a bit more experience. So if you were going to ask me, we could have done with like a number 8, like Awa, who I ain't gonna lie.
Actually, I was going to ask you. I mean, AFCON's coming up. Who would you go in for?
Well, that's the thing with the AFCONs, isn't it? The thing with the January sales, it's hard to.
We might be. I was just thinking about it the other day. We might be in some serious trouble, Kenny.
We're going to be. Yeah, I think the trouble with the I think the problem is that you know what you're getting when you buy African players because it's a FIFA back tournament and you've got to let them go. But I think that's why
it's that in that key period of the season too.
That's why from now up until like the maybe in middle of January when the African nations start, you have to have a run of wins, especially in that Christmas period, because I think when these players do go away, that's when the British players have to be up for it, and that's why play the next cab of the ranks as well. Lokonga, he's Belgian, so with Partey not playing, he's got to be ready to step up. You've got other players as well. Aubameyang is with.
Is Partey gone, right? Still just from
Partey. Is Aubameyang qualified? El Neni as well.
I think Gabon did. I think Gabon, if I'm not mistaken, Gabon did qualify.
If Gabon qualified, then you know what's happened. Lacazette has to be our main man. So there's going to be a lot of situations where players have to step up to the plate. Smith Rowe's got to step up to the plate. Saka's got to step up to the plate. Lokonga's got to step up to the plate. Maybe Maitland Niles as well. He might be needed in midfield as well.
I think those are only two senior midfielders we'll have because Granit Xhaka's out. So it's and what's his name? El Neni's gone. Partey's gone.
Yeah. So it's opportunity. I look at it as opportunities where players have to step up to the plate. We are going to be affected, but you know what? Get a run of wins up until then. Players who like Lokonga, this is a chance for him. Big chance for him in January. Big chance for like Smith Rowe to carry on his good form. Massive chance for Lacazette to play. As you said, but you asked me if I would keep Lacazette at the end of the season. Well, take your chance. Aubameyang's not the main. The main man's in Africa. You're French international. If you want a new contract, want to keep on living in London, prove your worth. I think it's a good opportunity for these players. I'm not worried because I like to believe that some of the players who are not normally first teamers take their chance.
Yeah, it's AFCON. That January period is kind of scaring me, and I don't know if
sorry, you know what it's like Africa. You ask them to play in June or July, it's going to rain every time. You can't. The score of Africa. Every time in July is the rainy season.
Yeah,
and we're talking serious rain. Serious rain. You really want matches to be called off because of waterlogged pitches.
Because of waterlogs, I mean, the African pitches can't even take any rain too. I think
exactly.
This AFCON thing, man. I mean, they should just eradicate it because it is just screwing.
You know what I think with the AFCON? I think with the African nations, I think what's happening right is that you know what you can't have all these associations in FIFA, and then all of a sudden you're looking at the smaller associations and like, oh, your tournament's not that important. In an ideal world, you want the African nations to be in July, but it's just not possible, is it?
Yeah, because they got the Euros and other FIFA tournaments going on at the same time. But hopefully we can do something. So just to wrap up, because I got to tape back again in a little bit. 9 games into the season, you want to give a grade on how we've done so far, maybe then A what scale?
You know what? I'm going to give it a D. I'm going to give it a D plus. Because first 3 games of the season were really horrendous. We beat 3 poor teams, 2 relegation teams, in my opinion, and a poor Spurs side. And then we were horrendous against Brighton, horrendous against against Palace, and we were excellent against Villa. But the reason why, because of where we are on the table, all right, I'll be nice. I'll give it a C minus, not a D plus, a C minus.
That's what I was going to give.
The reason why I'm giving it a C minus is because I'm not convinced by our attacking play. I don't think that we play at the right tempo consistently. Until we start playing at the right tempo consistently, until we start creating enough chances, and our front line starts, gelling, I can't give it any more.
Nah, yeah, I'm right there with you. C minus. The inconsistency is the big thing for me. The up and down nature of it. Our defense is looking a bit more decent with Aaron Ramsdale in, by the way, who I think is biggest quality. My favorite quality from him is actually not even like technically goalkeeping related. It's more his leadership, the way he's
definitely.
The way it's a goals orientated game. So I mean, people will celebrate goals getting scored, but Ramsdale, each and every time a defender makes a last ditch tackle or a block or whatever, he is there to big them up and keep them fired up. And I think that's great. So because of our defense, that pulls us up a little bit. I'm worried about us going forward. We're not scoring enough. And I mean, those performances.
Surely he's going to play Lacazette. He's going to give Lacazette a run of games. And he's going to say he's going to play that. All right, that front three.
He has to. Is he blind? If he doesn't, like, is he the only one that didn't see that it worked on that Aston Villa? He has to. He has to now.
It's a fun. That's what I think, but we don't know with Arteta, because he seems the problem we got right is that he's bought Odegaard as a.
Oh no! Oh, I think we might have lost Kenny. Oh, there he is. Might have lost Kenny Ken right there, but man.
Yeah, Kenny Ken, unfortunately, I think I'm going to guess his battery's gone. Oh, there he is. I'll just invite him back in so you can do a quick outro or whatever.
Yeah? We can wrap up because...
Sorry about that, Zah.
No, that's fine.
About that, Zah. What I was saying is that the problem we got with the thing is that Odegaard is basically like the player that we wanted, that he's bought, instead of the player I wanted, which is our. So the thing is that he always seems to want to play Odegaard and Smith Rowe in the team. And when he plays those two in the team, he doesn't. Lacazette, he only plays with one striker, which means Lacazette is going to struggle for games time, which something I'm not a big fan of. So, he's got to, as we say in England, I don't know if Troops has told you that expression, he's got to grow a pair.
Trust me, we say that expression is said everywhere. We say that in Zimbabwe. They use that here.
What you need to do is grow a pair and say, grow a pair and just say, right, I can't play Odegaard and Smith Rowe on my team. I've got to leave one of them out because I need Lacazette in that team because I need to get the best out of my best striker, Aubameyang. But he's not going to do that. If he we'll find out this Saturday if he grows a pair and finds a place for Lacazette in the team. If he has grown a pair, then I expect to see Odegaard on the bench. But if he hasn't grown a pair, I expect Odegaard to play and Lacazette to be back on the bench.
He's another one that causes me headaches.
And then you watch, he plays Lacazette. Odegaard instead of Lacazette. You watch Aubameyang struggle without Lacazette.
Yeah, he's something else, man. Arteta is something else. But unfortunately, Kenny, I got to run. But it's been an absolute pleasure.
One thing I want to say to you, all right, before I go, I love your stuff. I love what you do with Barstool. I'm glad that all you, yourself and Man Knows Football's work together, and also I'm glad that you're looking after my good friend Troops. I hope he's not.
It's a lot of work, but I'm trying, Kenny.
I hope he's not telling you off for your positivity, because I know last season when I was watching you on Barstool, your positivity wasn't much to his liking, especially after we lost against Aston Villa.
I was trying to give Arteta time. I was trying to give him time, but he let me down.
You know what? Dave, football's a results business.
Yeah,
and Dave, whether we like it or not, managers are dictated by results. But the thing with Arteta is that if he played a more expansive style of football, the players he's got, I think his results would be a lot better. But he's stubborn.
Nah, he's got to deliver. But likewise, I mean, I've been a big fan of yours. I've been following your stuff since the AFTV, since I started following AFTV. So being able to do this the first time, I was excited. The first time when Guni. So it hasn't worked out a couple of the times because I mean I've just been tied up and all that. But when he told me,
look, you know me, I'm always
so
but you know, it's nice. It's nice because I think what's happened is that it's nice to know what goes on at the other side of the world because there's this myth that people from London or England know more about the club, but I think what's happening right now is that since the Premiership is tapped into the American market, we get to meet a lot of overseas Gooners who are passionate about football. You know what? The best thing that's ever happened is finally people in your part of the world have realised that there's no such thing as soccer. It's called football. And that
I don't think they'll agree. I don't think they'll agree with that.
That game you call football is basically like rugby with shoulder pads.
You call it handball, not football.
I don't know, man. You need to go Australia. They seem to call that footy as well when they're running with the ball in their hands.
The Aussie rules. They call that footy. Nah, but it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm sure we'll do more.
Thanks
of these,
a lot. I'm enjoying myself.
The season going on. But shout out to Man Knows Football. Thank you for
Football's the man.
For us for letting us do this. And then my social handles right there, Kenny Ken. You can catch him on Twitter and on YouTube and all that. So just check us out. Arteta, please deliver over to Man Knows Football.
Come on, Leicester's next game. Come on, you Gooners.
There you go.